What is going on, y'all? This is your boy Ollie Footy, man. Here we go with the friendlies, man. International break. Let's just hop into it. All right, big one coming tomorrow. France, Brazil, Brazil, Brazil. Love the Portuguese accent, man. Brazil with Vinicius Junior. Yeah, and Rafinha. It's just so fun. You gotta admit, it's pretty fun, right? But anywho, you look at these two teams. And I think it's safe to say they've almost switched places in terms of the hierarchy of football. I think Brazil used to be like France, right? Brazil was like, man, this team's always the best team in the world with the best attackers, et cetera, right? You know, they've lost a little bit of that, although they still have top tier attackers, right? You look here, you have Vinicius, you have Rafinha, right? João Pedro's having a great year, Cunha's having a great year. On the other hand, it's not the same everywhere else. Like you look, especially at the fullbacks, it's like, ooh, you know. But on the other hand, you look at France, and it's like the attackers are absolutely incredible. Dembele, Ballon d'Or, Mbappe, best player in the world. Olise, best right winger in the world with Jamal. You know, Cherokee, maybe the best 10 in the world. Like it's not night and day, but the gap is there, right? So it's tough when you look at this. It's tough to call this still though, because I think, especially when I look at France, they have all of these great attackers, and even in defense, right? This is a very good defense. Che Hernandez, Upamecano, Konate, and Gusto. It's a very good defense, right? Very athletic, can run with the attackers. They can cover. They won't get beat too often. Although Teo Hernandez has shown to get beat every now and then. So same with Upamecano every now and then, but like these are a very athletic back four compared to this Brazil back four, which is just not the same at all. But I think midfield is what's gonna be the difference, especially for France. With France, here's a hot take. I don't even think it's that hot of a take. France has all these great attackers, right? Dembele, Mbappe, Elise, right? Barcola, Doué, Ekatike, Thuram, all on the bench, right? Akliouche, etc. Great back line. Upamecano, Saliba, Konate, etc. Maignan, goal. But that midfield has just not been up to the level. I mean, your midfield has to platform your attacker as well, A, but also take some of the ease off of your defenders, B, right? So it's when I look at this midfield, I just don't know if they do both of those to a great extent. And you look at Chouameni and Rabiot, and it's like, yeah, they definitely can defend, right? Conte, same thing. He can defend, right? He can win you the ball even too, right? So there's all of that. But then when you ask them to, come up with something to like find a path for your attacker who's having a tough time, get him a good ball through, find that person running and get him the ball in a good area rather than always giving him straight pass on the edge of the, on the sideline or on the touchline. Like, find something that provokes the defense in a more, dangerous way. This midfield cannot do that. This midfield does not know how to do that. Like, I look at Chouameni. He's actually having a pretty decent last few weeks, right? But you look at Chouameni, and it's like, man, you don't expect him to put a through ball in Dembele. It doesn't look like that's in his bag. Same with Rabiot. Same with Warren Zaire-Emery. Same with Conte. One guy who I think could do it is Manu Kone. Unfortunately, he's injured this break. But Manu Kone from Roma's not a like he's not a bad progressive player, right? He can progress the ball very well, but it's also not Pogba level, or it's not to the level that it's not a world class level, basically. And I think that's what's going to be their downfall as far as when it comes to the World Cup and just whatever it comes to going up against really big teams. In terms of this specific game, you look at this Brazilian midfield and you're like, okay, maybe France might not have too much trouble. Like, with all due respect to Andre Santos and Casemiro, like, it's not necessarily putting fear in your heart. So we'll see how that goes. But I don't know. I think if you're looking at this game, I still think you would have France to win. There's just so much quality. It's just there's so much danger on this team, especially if they line up like this. There's so much danger. Now you know Mbappe's not going to track back, so you could actually, I could anticipate Brazil finding some joy on the right hand side or on France's left hand side, especially with Rafinha going there, and then if Rafinha comes to track back versus Mbappe, then you've got an issue, right? But we'll see how Deschamps lines up. This lineup isn't necessarily 100% accurate. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think this France team has so much quality. I could see a draw. I could see a 2-2, but I might go 3-2 France here. I think this will be high scoring. Guys are going to be jet lagged, obviously coming from Europe or even Brazil all the way up here to America, but yeah, I can see a high scoring game. People may not want to defend. Give me give me France to win 3-2, or yeah, just give me France to win 3-2. I think this is going to be a very entertaining game. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, I think both of these teams still have flaws that need to be, addressed. And then there's also Brazil. They have the Neymar question. Is Neymar the thing with with Neymar going to Brazil is like, is Neymar in 2026 going to help you win versus a England, versus a France, versus a Argentina? Is he really gonna help you win for 90 minutes? I can't say that with 100% certainty. I don't even know if I could say that with 75% certainty. You know, if you're watching Neymar at Santos, it's like he's not bad, but maybe because the standard is so high, but it's not the Neymar you know and love. You know what I mean? This is not the same Neymar. So there's still a few flashes of brilliance here and there, but that's something Brazil is going to have to figure out, because the psychological like weight of knowing, Neymar is going to be there or not can make a big difference, right? Cuz then if he's there, then you have another aspect to where you saw this with Argentina last World Cup, where it's like, all right, let's do it for Neymar. Maybe he's not going to help us win when he's on the field. But if he's in the squad, and he's only on the field for a few minutes or he's used as a sub, he's still there, championing the squad, getting rallying the boys. That's still like that's a boost, right? Ancelotti has a big decision to make, because Neymar is just so entrenched in Brazilian culture that you don't imagine, as long as he's fit, that he's not playing a World Cup with the Selecao. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens. But yeah, this is gonna be a fun game. Looking forward to it tomorrow. And yeah, give me France to win 3-2. All right, what's next? Let's just look at the friendlies. Actually, like, I love scrolling Fat Mob and looking at the friendlies. There's big friendlies today, or tomorrow rather. Georgia, Israel. Actually, let's move on. Colombia, Croatia, another big one. Is this one also? This is in Orlando. Wow. So Colombia, Croatia. There's no lineup out for this one. Fight Mob's tripping, but hey, this is still gonna be a banger game. I think. Croatia, obviously, with Modric and guys like, I'm forgetting his name right now, Vuskovic, I believe, who's the really good center back. Vardio. Um, I'm not Bacharina. I think that's his name. Bacharina, who plays for Como. I'm not sure if he's in the squad. Let me check. Did he get called up? He did not get called up. Is Bacharina? No, Bacharina's Serbian. I'm tripping, man. But here we can take a look at the Croatian squad and who's there, so I don't have to act like I know the Croatian squad off the back of my head, unfortunately. But Budimir, Perisic is still kicking. My gosh, Perisic still going around. Modric, of course. Pasalic, Sucic, Stanisic. So and then yeah, there's Ruskovic there, and Livakovic in goal, of course. So, I mean, this Croatian team's just kind of been together for a while, although they're bringing in a few new faces. And on the other hand, you have Colombia, of course, with Luis Diaz, Richard Rios, Jefferson Lerma, Davidson Sanchez, the big 2-6. Still going hard. John Lukumi is doing very well for Bologna. Mojica, of course, at Mallorca. Uh, what is his name? Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez, who's going crazy right now for Sporting, doing very well in replacing Victor Gyökeres over there. So this game is very, very interesting. It feels like a home game for Colombia because they will be in Orlando, I think, and obviously there's a big Colombian population in the U.S., so they'll have that to their advantage. I don't know if Colombia is necessarily a better team than Croatia. It depends, if Croatia's playing at their best, but I do think Colombia has a better attack. This is a tough game to call. I think with Colombia having a bit of a home field advantage, you could see them edging it out here. This is going to be tough. I'm not exactly sure because Croatia's a very tricky team, right? They just don't they're so good. Like they just don't know the size of their country, or it means nothing to them, right? Like it's like they play like a big country, and obviously they're ranked 11th, but Croatia is historically not a big country, right? So it's like this much footballing talent from that small population is incredible. And Modric is having still a great year, still alive, not alive, but still performing at a great level for Milan. So this is tough for me to call, but I think Colombia just edge it out. I really do. Luis Suarez and Luis Diaz is just going to be maybe too much for that Colombian or for that Croatian defense rather. We'll see how it goes. Livakovic is still a very solid goalie as well. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Colombia to win 1-0. I mean Colombia to win 1-0 or maybe 2-1. Very interesting game. Because this is not a matchup you see that often. I don't know if it's ever happened. There's not even a head to head. Maybe this is the first time ever. But yeah, I mean, even look at their streak. I mean, these guys haven't lost. So there's that going for it too. This should be a very fun game. And yeah, give me Colombia to win 1-0. Maybe we got a draw even. We'll see. But yeah, very, very fun game. All right, let's look at some more friendlies. We looked at tomorrow. We can look at later on in the week. Austria, Ghana, that's a cool one. England, Uruguay, rather. Trying to make sure I get the pronunciations right. It should be fun because, England, they've got some new guys in the squad. They're doing like this thing where it's like part of the squad is going to be able to kind of trial for the team with this match versus Uruguay, and then whoever performs the best, they get to stay on, and they'll bring in like another half of guys in for their next game. Uh, I mean, I don't know. It's tough to predict this one because there will be new people in the squad. So I don't know. I think England could at least get a draw here. You'd imagine they win. Uruguay's not in their best period. Taking 5 from the U.S. This was a crazy game, by the way. I mean, I don't know if the U.S. has ever looked so good. So this doesn't make me confident, but we'll see. It's hard to predict this one. I think this one will just be more so than a result. You should really look at the performances and see what England could look like this upcoming World Cup. Yeah, especially with that right back situation, right? Ben White is in there now. Reece James is hurt. He should be back for the World Cup though, but yeah, I mean, there's also some really great games here in Netherlands and Norway. And this is a crazy maybe complaint, but I don't like to see European friendlies. Like, you know what I mean? Like Switzerland, Germany, Netherlands, Norway. That is like Nations League stuff. Like, go find you someone else to play. You know what I mean? Like, why couldn't you play Algeria? Why couldn't you play someone else? Whatever. But I'm just saying. I would have liked to see some variety. Obviously, the Finalissima is not happening, so you have Spain versus Serbia and Argentina versus Mauritania. Morocco, Ecuador, this one is going to be really interesting too because, well, as a PSG fan, I love to see Hakimi and Pacho, but Morocco, lots of injuries. My God. So we'll see. They'll probably have a bit of a rotated squad here. There's also like this saga with Morocco where everyone thought they were going to call up Bouadi from Lille, which I thought would have been a big move, but I would have loved to see. I wonder if he's still like thinking about it. He ends up going with the French U21, so maybe he just hasn't decided yet, rather than he's picked France. That's what I think, but who knows? But yeah, this should be fun. Two tough defenses, and obviously Morocco's got that whole Afcon thing looming over them too. So maybe they've got some frustration to take out on Ecuador. Who knows? But we'll see what happens. I think this will be also a really fun game to watch. Yeah, I would take Morocco to win there, just off the top of my head, but we'll see what happens. It is just me scrolling the FOMOB a little bit. But I mean, these are just some really good games. South Korea versus Ivory Coast, another good like. This is what you love to see, man. I love when the friendlies get mixed up like this. You know, Haiti versus Tunisia. Like, why don't we do this a little bit more often? But I get it. You know, U.S. versus Belgium. This is gonna be a big game, especially because for the U.S., I think there's this debate about, you know, especially up front, and unfortunately Haji Wright's injured, but you know, you take a look at who's up front for the U.S. and there's kind of a bit of debate between uh, Fuller and Balogun or Ricardo Pepi. And I think, you know, for me Balogun should be the U.S.'s number 9. But you know, I understand proving yourself and all that, but Balogun's just done it against better opposition than Pepe, unfortunately. Just to be blunt, you know. So I love to see Balogun up there get some reps. And yeah, you know, Pepe coming off the bench, I think that works. I think it works, you know. Even though I also really like Haji Wright's profile. Like he's a little bit taller than Balogun. Oh wow, a lot taller. 5, 6 inches taller, but he's a little bit taller. He feels a little bit more faster, like you know what I mean. So it sucks that he's hurt, but I would have loved to see him as well. But yeah, I think Balogun will be the U.S.'s number 9. And yeah, I think this is just good for the U.S. to build some goodwill, especially against a team like Belgium, who, although they're a very great team, Belgium, it's not the same Belgium, right? So there's still Doku. There's I guess Trossard's injured, but there's still Doku and company, right? Onana, etc. But Tielemans. But yeah, I think the U.S. should be looking at this game as a not only a great test, but that this Belgium team is gettable. Like you can get at this Belgium team. You can get the win. You can come away with the win. We'll see what happens, but give me the U.S. to win 2-1. Give me USA 2-1. Let's look at more friendlies. I know this is not the most riveting way to do it. But yeah, Haiti, Tunisia, that'll be cool. Mexico, Portugal, my eyes will be on that. Nuno Mendes playing in where would they be at? This is not Mexico City, is it? Oh, this is Mexico City. Okay, perfect. I thought they'd be at the Azteca. But or is this the Azteca? I'm not sure. I guess it is. Okay, why is it called the Banorte? Anywho, I'd love to see this. Especially unfortunately with Mexico, they've got so many injuries that they've just suffered like within the last few weeks. So it really sucks for them. But yeah, man, I think this is has the potential to be a very fun game. And it's just nice to see like the players you usually can't see at this time. Like I never get to watch football at night. You know what I mean? I never got to watch Vitinha and João Neves at nighttime. That's so cool. That's so cool to me. I don't know if that's for anyone else, but yeah, give me Portugal to win that. Let's see what else is kind of cooking around. Scotland, Japan as well that day. Senegal, Peru. Just some really fun games. Really, really fun games. And we got Colombia, France on Sunday. I'll be going to this game. So I'll give my prediction during, like, I might vlog or something. I don't know yet. Maybe I'll just put together a little voiceover thing. But yeah, this should be a very fun game. I'm very excited for this. On Monday, oh, I guess they postponed that Germany Ivory Coast game. So they're gonna do Germany Ghana instead. That should still be pretty fun. But yeah, probably not as enticing. Unfortunately, sorry to Ghana. And this Tuesday, there's gonna be more playoff games. Norway, Switzerland, Ivory Coast, Scotland, England, Japan. That should be a great game. USA, Portugal will love this game. I think Portugal, the U.S. should start their best lineup here. This is like the test run. This is the dress rehearsal for Portugal and the U.S. For the U.S. to have this big of a test against an amazing Portugal side will be really good to see where we're at. For Portugal, I assume they'll probably even rotate a bit, but this team's just too good, man. Like Pedro Neto is still a great winger. I know people hate him, but I still think Pedro Neto is like a good winger. I really do. And then obviously you have a great midfield. Vitinha, João Neves. You could even put Ruben Neves in there if you want. So yeah, I think this Portugal team should come out with the win, but it'll be very interesting to see how the U.S. do. I think if you perform well enough, you'll have a major confidence going into the World Cup, knowing you can do well against the Portugal. Brazil Croatia will also be a really fun game to watch. Mexico Belgium. Wow, the games are just incredible, man. Absolutely incredible. Haiti versus Iceland. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's where it stops mainly on this Tuesday. So yeah, this is just me scrolling through FotMob. But look, man, if you're not scrolling through FotMob every day, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know. Do you really love football? Anywho, thank you guys so much for watching, man. I will see you guys next week. I think it will be next week or just within the next few days because today is Wednesday. So I don't know. Sunday. Sunday, you'll see me at Colombia, France. And yeah, until next time, it's been your boy, Ali Footy. And we out.